you cremated it. So they get up, they control the whole thing. Caesar's body is covered with a cloth so no one can see exactly what happened. Then they get up and they say, listen, we're sorry about killing Caesar, but he was trying to make himself king and he didn't really like you anyway. And the Romans go, oh great, fine, where's the food? And then up got Mark Antony, who made his famous speech, which was tweeted by William Shakespeare, and I was like, too many words. And then Mark Antony sent a runner to the house of the Vestals, because the Vestals are the will keepers of Rome. The will of Caesar was read on the rostrum. Turns out Caesar left money to every Roman citizen. One of the scenes I love to imagine, like the Romans going, it's lunchtime, what? What? Oh, this is the funeral of Julius Caesar. I thought it was Frank Caesar. Wait a minute, Julius was my best friend. Did you guys kill Julius? Every single historian tells us the same story. That the Romans went from being indifferent to tears in a matter of minutes, and they were chasing Cassius, they were shouting at Cassius and Brutus, and they were mourning Caesar and weeping. And the story goes, and I did not make this up. Oh, thank heavens, the Romans did. Castor and Pollux marched out of their temple. Does it get any better than this? They went through the forum, they picked up the body of Caesar, they brought it this way, grabbing tables and chairs and making a makeshift pyre right there. And they laid the body of Caesar, they cremated the legal thing you can do in the city, and they all sat around toasting marshmallows and saying, probably not that bad. But they all sat there watching the smoke of Caesar curl up into the heavens, and one person understood what had just happened. They hadn't accepted Caesar as king. Octavian, 18 years old, realized the Romans had just accepted Caesar as a god, and there was a tiny little window that maybe Octavian, great-nephew of Julius Caesar, could be the one to get the family through that window and be the first gods. Every move he made was to get through that window. He killed Cassius and Brutus. He built the temple to Mars Ultor, Mars the Avenger, on the other side of the road. Caesar was dating Cleopatra because he wanted to annex Egypt. Augustus just skipped the dating, went straight to annexing and brought Egypt into the Roman fold. And then he walked back into the forum and finished everything that Caesar started. Caesar rebuilt the Basilica Julia, Augustus rebuilt the Basilica Aemilia. Caesar rebuilt the rostrum, Augustus rebuilt the temple of Castor and Pollux. Caesar rebuilt the Senate house, Augustus built, not rebuilt. He built the first new temple in 200 years in the Forum. This is the building you're looking at right over my shoulder, right? The structure here, the site where they cremated Caesar, 29 BC, temple to the deified Caesar. You want to know why I remember Caesar so well? Caesar's the first one to do it. He was the first man to make the leap from man to God. And so now you have a Julius Caesar who is leading the way for the Antoninus Piuses and the Marcus Aureliuses and all the others who are just going to be becoming gods one after the other. The city has transformed itself from a city of brick and tufa to a city that can stand up to all the other great capitals of the world many of you have seen in your travels with Steve. Augustus boasts on his deathbed, I found Rome a city of brick, I left it a city of marble. They're so proud of those buildings that they're buffing them with chamois cloths the way you do with a new car. And then in come two visitors. They come from, one's a tent maker, one's a fisherman. They come from a town called Jerusalem, which the Romans pretty much considered, I believe, to quote Steve, the armpit of the universe. And Peter and Paul, taken on the grand tour of Rome, do not show the correct excitement about the buildings. They're like, yeah, our kingdom isn't really of this world. And then imagine what happens when Peter and Paul are brought to this building. And the Romans say to them, well, this is Julius Caesar, who used to be one of us, and now he's a god. I mean, that guy used to babysit for Caesar, now Caesar's a god. I mean, it's kind of how we're rolling, men gods. And Peter and Paul say the words that change history. We met God, it wasn't Caesar. Boom, the two trains collide. This is the moment that for the Romans, everything they've been working for 700 years, they have finally achieved. There's an open door to the heavens. The city is transformed. They've got the face for it. They've got everyone's believing it. Everybody is on board, except for these whacked out Christians. It's like they're dyslexic. We said men become God, not God become man. What is wrong with you people? You just do this to be ornery. And you'll see this savageness with which Nero tries to put them down with that massive execution. The Romans, you saw in Santo Stefano, this endless attempt of the Romans to shut these people up. Come on, get with the program. And then, 300 years later, what did they do? They became Christian. So the papacy actually has always taken an interest in this spot because this is the spot of the impossible conversion. Who would have put money on Peter and Paul coming over on that boat? And yet they did it. leading the charge, and all those other martyrs that you've been celebrating and seeing, they all managed to convince the Romans to turn from worshiping the pagan God to worshiping the Christian God. And that's what this memory of this place meant to the church, and why they bothered to turn that into a church, and most importantly, on our way down, it's why they bothered to keep the Colosseum. So we are now going to head out